Today we are in the car and we are headed to a pick your own pumpkin farm stand that I found last year. But to kick off the day, I'm going to go to a local cafe and get a pumpkin spice latte, which is, I mean, how can you resist it this time of year? So this is our local cafe, or one of them, and it's called the Crimson House, and they always write really lovely messages. So today mine says, yes you can.
How is it?
It's still good. It's
Good.
comfort in a cup. Oh, isn't this so cute? I love just arriving and taking it all in. I'm so glad we came early this year, and I look forward to just falling in love with whatever catches my eye. Got some reusable bags to fill up and just see what the surprises of what I end up liking. So I will invite you to come explore with us. So these completely look like from a fairy tale. They are gorgeous. I think Cinderella, just old heirloom pumpkins, I think. I especially like when the vine is curly. I don't know, it's just those little details. If I look overjoyed, it's because I have found huge, ginormous pumpkins. That's been on my list this year. I think they're utterly magical. And I believe at least one of those weighs about 300 pounds. In grams, I'm not sure what that is, or kilograms, but if we can do the math, we'll let you know later. I almost feel like being quiet, like they're sleeping or something. Which one calls out your name?
This one.
Why?
Dunno. I just like the white one.
Do you want another one?
No.
One simple man.
Yep.
Me, on the other hand, I would like that huge pumpkin that costs $65. Not sure I've ever spent so much money on pumpkins, but it's a joy. So I will be loving them in the house with us this autumn.
Directors?
Yes. Yes.
I am back, and I am going to be making a pumpkin pie spice oatmeal cookie. And I think it's the perfect end to my day. I had to have a cup of tea to kind of lift me back to life after our adventures. Matt is resting, and this will just be the lovely finale. So, okay, to begin, we have 1 2/3 cup of oats, or 150 grams of oats. Just pour it in the bowl, a big mixing bowl, and then we have 2/3 cup of oat flour, or that is 50 grams. And what you can do is you can take oats that you have, that you use from here, and just put them in a blender or a food processor and just turn it on a high setting. It doesn't take very long and it is a fine powder. So put that straight in here. We're basically going to be putting a bunch of dry ingredients in first and then our liquid ingredients. So here we also have 2/3 cup of almond flour, and that is 70 grams of almonds. Mine has some chunks in it, so because I put it in the freezer, so it needs a little TLC to get it smooth again, but we will take care of that next. So alright, and then we have a teaspoon of baking powder mixed with a pinch of salt, and that goes into our ingredients as well, as the star ingredient is a teaspoon and a half of pumpkin pie spice. So I just bought mine after we went to the pumpkin patch. I bought mine, was in a bulk section, and I just measured out what I needed. Because pumpkin pie spice is not something that you use often, and so I didn't have to buy huge, large quantity. I could just buy more or less what I needed for a couple of batches of these oatmeal cookies or whatever else I end up making. So put that in as well. And I think pumpkin pie spice might vary in what it blends, but it essentially is like cinnamon and nutmeg and allspice, clove maybe in varying quantities. So you can definitely make your own blend if you're happy and have time to do that. But I was okay just buying mine. We did enough today, so I just get my spoon. So I'm going to take my wooden spoon and I'm just going to kind of get my lumps of almond flour out, mix in the oats. Ooh, and then smell the spice. It suddenly hits you. It's just kind of what you need after running errands out. I'm glad we did fun things as well. Alright, so now that is done. It's all mixed. And I will now be adding the liquid ingredients. We'll start with 7 tablespoons of maple syrup, and that is really, you can see it here, that is nearly a half a cup. This is our sugar, and oh, looks like I left my spatula, so the wooden spoon will have to do. Okay, so this is our sweetener, and it also binds the mixture together. Since we're not using egg, we need some liquid. Then we will use 4 tablespoons of coconut oil, and you want it to be melted because it also is going to act as a binding agent. Oats are very, very thirsty and they will just absorb the liquid. So pour that in. I just melted it previously on a low heat in a small saucepan. It doesn't take long at all. If you forgot about it for a minute or two, it will be pure liquid. And then just a hint of vanilla, a half a teaspoon, just to kind of help carry the spices. I feel like vanilla would not be necessary if you wanted to leave it out, but today I'm trying it just to add a little more aroma to the cookies. So here we have the mixture, just kind of all separate, but I'm going to stir it all together until it's combined. Now the sweetness comes through, it's so lovely. This is almost like baking oatmeal. You could pretty much have this as a breakfast replacement if you were having a particularly decadent morning, I tend to have a savory tooth in the morning, savory breakfast, but this and a cup of coffee would just be lovely. Alright, so now all the ingredients are combined. It's very wet at the moment, but we want it that way because the oats will actually absorb a lot of the liquid and we will end up with a big dry cookie, not too dry, but a lovely texture, but it will transform in the oven, I guess is what I'm saying. And it will keep its shape and will be lovely. So I have prepared a baking tray. And I just have parchment paper. And I have my big cookie scoop. So you could choose a different size. If you went smaller than this size, I will definitely not bake them as long. So you just basically scoop and drop. You don't even necessarily have to use the little lever here. You just want them to be uniform. And next we will be baking them. I have the oven already preheated to 400 Fahrenheit, and that is 200 degrees Celsius or 180 degrees Celsius. So let's get baking. Here are my mounds of oatmeal and pumpkin pie spice. It smells divine in here. It smells so, I don't know, heartwarming is the word. We don't eat oatmeal cookies because they're beautiful. We eat them because they are so like a cozy sweater or something, a jumper. They just keep us warm. And here I have left them, I bake them for 10 minutes. Every oven is a little bit different, so I would check them within the range of 10 and 15 minutes depending on your oven. And these are a little bit brown on the edge and kind of on the top, so I let them cool for about 5 minutes before taking them off, and they're coming off wonderfully. With gluten-free baking, it can be such a challenge that things can crumble, so getting it at the right time is the key. So I'm going to have this crumb that didn't make it, fortunately. The spice is definitely coming through already, and I am going to leave these a little bit longer. Or actually, I don't know if I can. I'm going to eat one now. Yeah, the smell is like a candle. It's just wonderful. And these are so delicious. They are full of fragrance, but not too much. It's just the perfect autumn treat. Sweet dreams, pumpkin.